What up, stackers? Bigstack McGee here. How are you doing today? Well, it's Friday. Great time to unbox some silver and gold and sit back and relax and just get ready for the weekend and appreciate the hard work you put in. And I've got something a little bit different for me. This package is awfully small and there's not gold inside. So, what in the world's going on? Well, for those of you that have been following my channel for any length of time, you know that for me as a stacker, I've been primarily trying to get silver and gold pieces that were as close to spot as possible and just stack by weight and try to look for deals. Primarily, the reason that I've gone that route as opposed to a more of a numismatic or collector route, there's many reasons, but number one is just I did not have as much information or knowledge in that field to feel comfortable putting money into collector finds, numismatic finds. So if I was going to spend money on an ounce of silver, I want it to be, as cheap as possible. And I'm slowly starting to learn more, and thanks to many of you in this fine silver and gold stacking community here on YouTube, I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable. And I'm going to do a quick shout out to John at Garfield Heights Coin Club. I'll put a link to him in the description. I've done it already before. I really enjoy his videos. He's a very smart guy, and he's very succinct in his explanations, and his videos make a lot of sense. A lot of great knowledge there, so thanks, John, for all of your great videos. But one of your videos in particular was talking about trying to find the numismatic sweet spot if you're going to pursue numismatic coins. And what he was talking about is if you can look at some of the various coin value guides and stuff that are out there, he was talking about how if you can pick up a coin and let's just say you can get it in fair condition, and for $5 more you can get an extra fine, and for just a little bit more you can get up to the next grade, it's worth it to try to find a coin in a condition right before it jumps to some massive amount. Okay, and so watch the video. He does a much better job of explaining it than I did, but the idea is trying to find as good a coin as you can afford and be willing to bump up by the small increments until right before it gets to that massive leap. And so with that that knowledge that was arming me as I was deciding to pick up a coin that would have some numismatic value, it happened to coincide with one of our famous eBay Bucks promotions, and so I was able to get a coin that I thought had good value at its price point, and then of course get 10% off as I bought it. So that's the story, and I'm pretty excited to open this. This is a coin that I do not own, and it's a piece of history that I've wanted for quite some time, and so I'm going to go ahead and unbox it, and then we'll talk a little bit about what it is. I got my knife. I don't think it's going to take very much on this package. Okay, so before I show you the coin, let's just talk a little bit of what this is. So right here, what you're about to see is a U.S. trade dollar from 1877 and graded by PCGS in AU55 condition. So let's take a look. Very cool. I have my fair share of peace dollars and Morgan dollars, but I've always wanted a trade dollar too. There's a lot of really cool history that comes along with this, and I might do a upcoming video that just talks a little bit about it, but let's just take a look here. This is a really white coin. All right, let's take a look a bit at the back here. This design was done by William Barber, famous for his other designs in our coinage later after this. So like I said, I'll probably do another follow-up video that just talks about the traded dollar. But I had done a bunch of research on the history of this coin, and it's really interesting. Mid 19th century, that gold rush really started playing havoc with the prices of gold and silver, and there was a time where, due to the amount of gold that was being dumped into the economy and whatnot, silver began to rise in price, and it's exact opposite of what's happening now, essentially. And as a result, silver coinage like disappeared out of circulation and whatnot. Well, then a reverse trend happened later for various reasons, and there was too much silver around. I don't know if it was just silver mining in the West increased to meet demand or whatever, but there was a time where silver fell below the price of a dollar. In other words, an ounce of silver or whatever was contained, the 90% silver that was in a silver dollar was worth less than a dollar. Let's just put it that way. And so there was a coinage act that was passed in 1873 to be able to basically mint silver and put a dollar value on it. And I'm going to do just a little bit more in-depth research and get back to you on all of that stuff. But a lot of these coins were sent over to China, and in fact, you can find some, that have chop marks on them that were authentication by the Chinese. But it's just kind of a really cool story. And then later on, a few years after they started making these, they actually demonetized these. The mint still made proof versions of this for a few years, but then this was not monetized up until the 1960s, even though the collector value of these coins is far greater than the $1 value on it. But pretty cool. So this is a coin I've wanted for some time. Now, just a little bit about the process for this. So I went looking, and of course, I picked this up on eBay and whatnot, but I spent several hours of just doing my own research on the values of these, and I had a couple of great resources that John at Garfield Heights at Coin Club had recommended. And so, of course, there's several years that you can look for and whatnot, and I basically got this coin in AU55. It's what I could afford at the time before it starts jumping up into some massive premiums. I was looking for an AU58, which would have been reasonable had there been any around that would have fit the bill for the price I was looking at. And then after you start getting into the mint state versions of this coin, and the price starts to skyrocket. So, John, if you're watching this video, I hope this meets the definition of your numismatic sweet spot, or close, if not. But if you get a chance, or for anyone that's watching this that does pick up collector coins, I'm curious what your methodology is when you're deciding to go after a coin. So, as I've said in the past, I've been primarily a stacker by weight, but collector coins intrigue me to say the least. And I think part of my fear in stacking a lot of this stuff is that when push comes to shove and things need to be sold, can your money be recouped? Well, I mean, let's just put it out there. If you're talking about a shit hits the fan kind of situation and stuff has to be dumped off, is there still going to be a collector premium and someone to buy this when I don't know. And so, like I said, I don't have as much knowledge on that. But that's not to say that I don't truly appreciate coins in very good condition that have been graded and authenticated. I know for a fact that a lot of these trade dollars that were created, there's a lot of fakes out there. They were used with other metals just because of the collectability of these coins and whatnot. But let's just take one more look here. And like I said, I feel like a bit of a novice when it comes to picking up collectible coins, but I'm very thrilled to have this one in my collection. This is awesome. Very shiny and reflective. It's probably not the best lighting for it. I wonder if I can see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, just a nice coin. Obviously, I've only been able to give it a few glances right now. Very cool. So in the future, assuming that I'd like to get some feedback from any of you collectors out there, on what you think. Does anyone else own a trade dollar out there? And if so, if you were to pursue a coin like this, would you go around that same idea and try to find something that's hits that numismatic sweet spot? I was also looking at some seated Liberty dollars, and boy, you know, as you start getting further in history, the prices rise, don't they? Someday. At any rate, this is Bigstack McGee. Thanks so much for watching, and again, check out that video that John put out, that numismatic sweet spot, and let me know what you think. And just appreciate you guys out there. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll be back at you real soon. Have a good one.